I'm just saying. So, you know what I'm saying? You've been dating. You're single. You know what I mean? You know, you needed a deck of cards. Why do you have them like that?
It's funny.
Okay.
It's funny. It's gonna help me get into character.
So, what did you think about when I gave it to you?
It's-
What did you think about them when I gave them to you?
I think they were pretty cool. I like the fact that you broke the cards down by like the stage of the relationship that you're in, or when you're in the dating process. So the blue cards are like the beginning of the dating process, and then yellow is
I'm listening. Sorry.
and yellow is like, okay, we're getting serious, and red is okay. I think this is somebody I can settle down with. So I really appreciate that you gave us questions that we can go based off of the stage that we're in, because a lot of times people will, be dating. It'll be like the third date, and they're in red when they need to be in blue.
It's true, people. Like I've found that some people ask the right questions at the wrong time, and when you're asking the right questions at the wrong time, it feels like the wrong thing. And most people, like in this 20 post COVID is what I'll call it. Post COVID dating phase of whatever you want to call it. I almost got the eggnog. Boy, that would have been nasty. Most people are like experts on, oh, that's you moving too fast, oh, you moving too slow, or but the thing is, you can't really know what's too fast or too slow. And so the cards kind of give you a little bit of direction, and that's part of the reason why I came up with them, right? So most people don't know so everything is really a story. Like life is lived through stories, especially for me. So I was married for 15 years. Got married at 22. I don't ever recommend that. And the reason why I don't recommend it is because getting married really, really early, you don't really know yourself. How do I feel like this is going to be bad? Especially, it's bad. It's November. This says October. Whew. That's why you got to pay attention. Getting married really early, you don't really know a lot about yourself. So what I discovered was that I married my ex-wife, and then we didn't really have a lot of the conversations that I think were necessary. So when we got divorced 15 years later in 2017, I wrote a list of like 49 areas that I think that you should talk about when you're dating. And originally, I wrote a book, and the book was called 49. This is the literal title of the book. 49 conversations, necessary conversations before you become exclusive. And I was like, oh my God, that's probably the worst book title in America. But I didn't think that at the time. But I mean, I was dating, so it is what it is. But I wasn't really I didn't know enough about myself to say I was like fully entrenched or fully immersed in the dating process. But I mean, I was out there, I had started. And I think that if I would have had these conversations about these subject matter areas before I married my ex-wife, or before I just dated anybody, period, or got into before I got deep, then I probably would not have gotten married. And one of them, you didn't ask me this, but one of the things that come up now, like when I tell people about my book, or when I tell people about the card game, the deck of cards, and I don't know if it's a card game, deck of cards, whatever. But one of the things that come up is that people tell me, especially when I'm dating, they go, "Well, are you using the book on me?" Yes, I'm using it on you. I have it memorized. I know not everything, but literally everything. I know what I need to ask and what I need to figure out. But in order to know that, you got to date, and so that's how I came up with the subject matters. But then I need some more Parmesan cheese, and I think I have some. Then I booyah! It's fantastic. Got my own. I make my own whatever. Anyway, so then I was like, not a lot of people were buying my book, and I changed the title. So the book is called The Ultimate Vetting Guide. And so what I learned through the pandemic from being on this app called Clubhouse, it was that everybody was like, well, do you know how to properly vet? Do you know how to properly vet? Do you know how to properly vet? And what I discovered was a bunch of people, one, black people that are dating are the largest, and this is just my opinion, I don't know how true it is. Black people are the largest demographic of people that are talking about dating and relationships. Like, you see that more than anything else in any other demographic of people. You don't see Asians by and large talking about dating. And I mean, maybe I need to get on the Asian talk, or Asian trail and see if they're talking about it like we're talking about it. But I just don't hear about it, and I don't know if that's indicative of my algorithm or if it's just not happening. I'm leading to believe that it's just not happening. And so, since I don't think that it's happening, I think that it's us, primarily us. And one thing that I realize is that we don't know how to date. You got the red pill community, and I think the women are called pink pill or whatever they're called. Then you got this.
They're just feminists.
You got the feminist movement. You got all of these different, things and sectors of people, and the reason why dating coaches are popular because we don't know how to date. They're teaching principles. Well, some are teaching principles on how to date, and others are just teaching you stuff. Things that you could know or should know about how to date. And it some of it is working, and some of it is just not. And so my thing is, while I can't help every guy in the world, I can start the process of helping some guys learn to ask better questions. Because we as guys need to, air quote, lead the charge, if you will, to date better and put ourselves in a better position to have more quality mates. Because the women are going to take care of themselves, right? It's not our job to fix the women. We have to fix ourselves. But we need to learn how to ask questions. Like, I don't want anybody asking me what my favorite color is. Don't ask me what my favorite food is. Like, you know how simple of a question that is? Like, you know what you could ask me? What were my plans 4 years ago for me, in 2025? You know how much more you can learn about me, and that's one of the questions on the cards. You know how much more you can learn about me, because who cares what my favorite color is? You're not gonna buy me stuff with my favorite color. Who cares if I have a passport? Because we're not going anywhere the first week we meet. Most people are so afraid of, he gonna try to kidnap me, or he gonna do something, or he wants, he want the booty on the first day, which, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But who cares if he has a passport or she has a passport? That doesn't matter. You know what does matter? Character. And you want to learn a person's character more so than, okay, this water is going, so perfect timing. And you want to learn a person's character. Like, that's what you want to know. Because character will last way longer than knowing my favorite color is or what my favorite food is. Character is what keeps you together. Character is what you end up liking about a person. So I changed the book, because the book is actually called The Ultimate Vetting Guide, and I changed it from The Ultimate Vetting Guide, from the 49 questions you should ask before getting into an exclusive relationship, to The Ultimate Vetting Guide. And I changed it to that, and it just stuck. So that's kind of how I got here. Look like you want to ask me another question. You can.
So since we got this wonderful card that came with the Ultimate Vetting Guide, are we gonna get any speed dating questions from you? How do you think about these cards working if you're in a speed dating type of setting? Where do you think
Ooh.
people may trip up at?
So it goes. That's a real good question. How do I think it would work in a speed dating situation? So I didn't really use. So let me answer two questions. I didn't make the cards so you can use them in a speed dating situation, right? Because you in a speed, and I've never been on speed dating, so I would assume from what I could imagine in my mind, this is how speed dating works. You are trying to get basic information to see if that person and you match within
Probably 2 minutes.
right within 2
to
minutes.
5 minutes max.
Right, so you're probably gonna get like name, where they from, do they want kids, stuff like that. You're probably not gonna get quality information, but what you could do with the cards is you could use them on before you go on a first date or before you have a conversation. Not before you have a conversation, when you are having your first few conversations with whoever you're dating. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen so often people say things like, well, what kind of questions do you ask on a first date? Don't ask me nothing on a first date. Don't ask me what my favorite sports team is. Don't ask me what my favorite color is. The first few dates shouldn't be about I'm interviewing you. You should be able to go on the first date, and I'm gonna get back to the speed dating, but you should be able to go on a first date and say to a person, I really enjoy you. Let's just have it's like, okay, if the water is flowing, why cut it off with a question? That's what a date should be. Your date should be just a flowing, it should be a continuation of you two having fun, enjoying each other, and that's what a first date should be. Like, we so quick to be like, I don't want to waste my time. Well, you wasting your time because you don't know how to ask the right questions. And I'll give you an example. I matched with this girl on this one app. And before, we matched, and immediately her questions were, what's your purpose? What are you doing? Why do you like me on this app? What is your purpose in Christ? Do you believe in God? And she had like 12 questions. And I was like, oh, really? No, mama. I'm good. Like, oh, I'm so good.
Why do you think that happens though?
Because I think it happens because some people are just, they're defensive, and they're defensive because other people. No, I won't blame it on other people. They've allowed other people to waste their time because they don't know how to ask the right questions to get them to the results that they want, right? And some people are so eager to just get to the results that they don't realize, oh, I need to actually, figure out a person's character, because we're results driven now. Like, everything is about results. So I think that's part of the reason why people don't ask the right questions, and people are in such a hurry to just get there.
So from your experience, and because you mentioned black men and black women earlier, if you were to give these cards to just people that are trying to date black women and black men, who do you think would take advantage of these questions?
I think anybody can take advantage of the questions. I think that the mature, intentional and unintentional man can get the deck, which, shameless plug, you can find on my website under the link in my bio. Just playing. Probably cut that out. No, I think any person can use them because they're really, what I think are really good questions. Like, you're getting beyond the basic information, and it's allowing you to have a conversation versus you just are, okay, Okay, so you know how you have you? Let me ask this question. You ever been on the phone with somebody, and then there's that awkward silence
Yeah.
where it's like they've asked you a question, you've answered, but then they come back and they don't know how to ask or like keep it flowing. I call it a conversation volley. So if I ask you, if I now I never asked, tell me about yourself. Let's say you tell me that you are a therapist, right? And I'll say something like, well, like, oh, I'm in therapy. You telling me about yourself? I'm in therapy. I am studying to become a therapist, and I take my practice exam or whatever it's called. And oh, really? So conversation volley would be, I throw back the ball to you by saying, when I was driving Uber, then I'm telling you about myself, a little bit about my background. When I was driving Uber, I used to be what I considered a car therapist, tying what you're currently saying to what I'm currently saying. And now you can pick up on, well, how long did you drive for Uber, or whatever the case is. And I can you might not even have to ask that if I'm thorough enough. I can say something like, I was driving for Uber for like 5 to 7 years after my divorce. Now you know that I was previously married. And like, you don't have to ask, you've been married before, how many kids you have. You don't have to ask that, because now I'm just telling you, I'm openly sharing. And I think I forgot your question, but hopefully that answers it. So who do I think that will benefit the most from the cards? And it's not just like for black people. So let me just say that the cards are not just only for black people. The cards are for anyone, any person that wants to get to know someone better, and get further into the vetting of the type of person that they want to find.
Okay, cool. I don't think I have any more questions.
You don't think you have any more
Still learning the
questions?
deck myself.
Okay.
You did a great job, though. I think the best thing is the reflection questions at the end.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad you brought it up. Right? I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish the sentence.
No, just what made you put in the reflection questions? I know for me personally, I think a lot of people don't take time to understand the questions and how it relates to themselves. So it's really like putting a mirror up to themselves.
Yes.
So what made you put in the reflection questions?
So can you let me have the red reflection cards? And I'm gonna read the questions. There should be 2 of them. All right. So reflection questions are. It says reflections, questions to ask yourself after you receive the answers, then jot down the answers, because it was supposed to be in a book. How do you feel about what he or she said? He or she said, how does this align with what I think, feel, believe? Because what you feel, what you think, and what you believe are different. Am I being overly emotional about the response? Does he or she support what I think and believe? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is his or her belief to creating a great relationship? So what you'll find is all of the decks of cards, and I'm exaggerating because I haven't bought all of the decks. I'm presuming that every other deck is just a deck of questions. Oh, well, tell me about your most traumatic moment with your parent, or can you forgive your mom? Fantastic questions, great questions, right? But none of the questions make you self-reflect, because when you date, you should actually be getting to know yourself more so that you can figure out what you do and don't like. So if somebody does something that you don't like, then you can ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this thing that I don't like that they're doing? And if it's a 3, keep dating them. But if it's a 25, red flag, like flag on the plane, stop immediately. So the reason why I did it is not because other decks of cards don't have it. It's because I'm self-reflective, and I would want to ask myself the same questions if I'm dating somebody. Does this really matter? I've actually paid attention to and listened to several dating coaches. Some of the ones that I think that are absolute best, right? And one of the things that is really good, hold that question. One of the things that's really good is they let you reflect on on the answers that the person. So I got that from the dating coaches that I've listened to. Like, take a moment, take a breath. Like, let's say I did something that was a red flag and we were dating. To you, it was a red flag. Let's say, like, you met me, we matched on the app, you found out that I didn't have a passport, and you thought that was a red flag. I didn't have one because it just lapsed, right? And I haven't been anywhere internationally because it was during COVID, right? It just lapsed. I forgot. I've been busy with work, whatever. You think it's a red flag, but how important on a 1 in 10 is it? We just matched. So if it's a 3 and I can renew, then it's not, or if it's a 1 and I can renew, okay, keep dating me. But if I have a felony, or if I have a gun charge, or if I have something like behind back child support, and that can't be fixed at all, if it can't be fixed at all, then that might be something to give attention to. But if it's something fixable, then maybe you can still continue to date them. And that's why you have the reflection cards, because you really want to know how you feel about their answer. You want to be able to stop and pause and ask yourself, what do I really think about what they're saying? Because just because they're saying it doesn't mean that it is it's super important to you. And let me say this too, because this is also really, really important. Just because a person does something, and I hate this like with a passion, just because a person does something, this is another reason to the reflection cards. Just because a person does something that a previous person did that triggers you, it doesn't mean that they are going to be just like that the person that became before them. So you and I are dating, and let's say you dated a John. If I did something similar to what John did, or say something similar to what John did, you now need to really pause and reflect. Is this what he's doing? Is he exactly like John? Or am I just still triggered by the thought of what John did? Because it might not be me. It might be that you haven't resolved your trigger, and you haven't resolved that, and now relationship should cause you to grow, which is why you need to reflect. So that's where that comes from. What do you want to ask me? Because you was like, it was on when I said something about dating coaches.
No, it's just my last closing question, because you talked about people that you follow. So for the people out here that are just going through the merry-go-round, listening to dating people, who would you recommend for the men and women?
Ooh, boy. You can listen to me. Okay. So for the men, I would recommend David Burris.
And you put me on him. I listened to him. He's very good.
I love David Burris. David is out of California. He's a Christian man. So I'm gonna name two people, David, and then another young lady is April Mason. And the reason why I recommend them two is not for what they say, but the methodology in which they teach. I actually learned as a guy, and I'm gonna explain that. I actually learned a lot from listening to April Mason. Now I'm explaining to you why. April used to teach women how to date. I liked the way she taught, because she taught dating principles, not tactics, not strategies, not 10 steps to get a man. She taught principles. And if you decide to instill principles, then that's something that you can practice on and on and on, right? If you just learn 10 steps, what happens when you get to step 3 and and it goes faster to step 10 and or you get confused, now you're confused. But those are the two people that I would recommend. I recommend a few other people, but I'm not gonna name drop. So here's what I would say. If you're listening to a dating coach and they are not teaching principles, then stop listening to them.
So the bonus question would be, how do people know like a dating principle versus a dating step from your view?
Oh, golly. I think a principle can be simple. A principle can be applied to male or female, men or women. A principle could be something like learn to be a person of integrity, right? That's something that anybody can do, right? A dating step is, Well, first you need to learn how to put on makeup. Then you need to learn how to flirt. Well, that, yes, it's true. But if you don't know the reason, the principle behind it, why you should flirt, then why are you flirting at all, right? So, I think, you caught me off guard with that. That was a good one.